Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk to you guys about what I love and what I hate about each sign of the Zodiac. So I'm going to focus mostly, this is for sun signs, and this is what you will see, I think, hopefully, in the different sun signs. So I like to go in order, so I'm going to do from Aries to Pisces. Aries. Alright guys, come on. Aries are pretty straightforward, and when I was a kid, I would have to say that Aries was not my favorite sign because I would focus a lot on sun signs, and I just knew I was a Capricorn, so I said, okay, what are the signs Capricorn doesn't get along with? And it was like, okay, Geminis and Aries, no. Like, I just kind of knew that was not what I liked, and I read about them, I'm like, I'm serious, and Aries aren't, and I'm serious and Gemini aren't. So you know, I used to think, okay, I'm just gonna get along with like Aries or Taurus and Virgo, and I was like, my sister's a Taurus, I like her. But Aries are what I like about them. Let's talk about that. What I've learned from the Aries I know. When I was a kid, I did not easily get along with Aries people. I think it's because I was very serious as a Capricorn youngin'. And when I get older, I realized that Aries are actually really fun, and like there's not many fun signs to me, really. Like really fun, like outgoing, like I'll do anything. And you know, I think the older I get, I don't know if it's my Gemini moon or whatever, but I'll do anything, mostly. But even now, I'll like consciously hang out with an Aries for the fun aspect of it. Also, I think Aries are really smart, like not in a, I don't know, philosophical, or I'm willing to sit here and talk about this one subject over and over, but it's the passion behind what they want to talk about, and that pure innocence of like when an Aries is like passionate about something. A lot of Arians that I know, like the female Arians, are like, they love animal rights, and it's because it's so simple. Like, they will bring, like, if you're in an overly complicated kind of mood or whatever, they will bring you back down to earth on like what matters, and like I respect that. Like I respect an Aries because they are like, they'll smack you in the face and tell you like this was what matters, it's the thing that should matter, like come on. And Aries will like just like when they walk into a room and like they get things going, like they get stuff flowing, you can, it's like something you feel. I think that's what the fire signs, you feel their fire. So like I think it's good for an air sign person with a lot of air signs, most, because air sign people without having a lot of fire around get lazy. Like they're just kind of like, if they don't have that kind of self-initiative, they won't go and find their own amusement. So then like when a fire sign shows up, it's like, oh my god, yay, I love you being here. Then the fire sign will go away and not be good. So like with all the air in my chart, it's a good thing. Let me try to think some more. One random thing I like about Aries is the fact that like I can watch documentaries with them, which is like not something you would think, but actually yeah, a lot of them, like, they don't like to necessarily stay in that serious mindset, but they're really quick studies, and they're usually really good at school. They don't have that kind of roadblock that like some signs have, especially Capricorns like me. They can get things done and just kind of like get it done. But I mean, okay, let's get into like what I don't like about them. Aries are, well, first of all, they're selfish and impatient, obviously. And someone that's so serious, like, you know, other people that are serious signs do not like that. And even this non-serious signs don't like that. Like, I think any fire sign can easily and quickly piss off anyone. And an Aries will just kind of, if, like, I think with me, I had to accept the negative parts of Aries to even be a friend with one of them. I had to realize they're selfish, and that's all you have to say. It, like, you just have to admit to yourself that Arians are really selfish. But then sometimes when you are negative, like, you just don't want to deal with any negativity, and Aries will just be like, I'm selfish, and like you'll just like get pissed off at them and just whatever. But then an Aries will get over it. But the thing is, that keeps coming up, and an Aries will be like, I'm selfish, oh, I'll try to fix that. Oh, I'm selfish, oh, I'll try to fix that. And it'll just come up and over and over. And it's like, oh, so you have to kind of just admit that. Another thing about Aries that I don't like is that they're blunt and they'll say things and they expect you to laugh about it. But no, they'll just like say something like without thinking, and you're like, I don't know, more serious signs might be like, okay, next time you'll fix it, right? But then they kind of don't, and you know, they'll say anything to get out of like the situation they're in. It's all about being selfish and getting past this specific roadblock and then kind of moving on. So that would be the worst thing about Aries, I'd say. I mean, like, I don't recommend someone that admires Venus people, you know, like peaceful, like minded people, or wanting to keep the peace or keeping everything stable, to have an Aries around. If you can't handle it, don't live with an Aries if you like that. They're not messy or anything necessarily. It's just, you know, kind of very single, simple-minded, moving on kind of mindset. So, but it's, going back to the positive, it's refreshing. It actually really is so refreshing. I'm thinking of all the Aries I know in my life, and it's just so quick. And if don't want to be around like heaviness, I will find an Aries before any other sign, for sure. Definitely. So Taurus, I just, as a really young, I knew astrology really well, and my first crushes were Tauruses, and my favorite people really early on in life were Tauruses. So my sister is a very much a Taurus. I think she's a Sag rising, but she has 4th house placements, so she's very down to earth, homey, slow Taurus. I mean, she does have some social aspects, but for the most part, someone that's really Taurus is stubborn, but they're pleasant. And what I like about Tauruses is I think they bring beauty to like the world, beauty to their surroundings, and a sense of enjoying that beauty and being slow and enjoying it. Taurus is one of the only routine signs that I like how they do the routine, because they have an emotional mind balanced with a logical mind. Like, you can talk to them about art and why a picture is beautiful, and like the very detail stuff about a lot of stuff. Like, people say they can't talk to Tauruses about stuff, but I find people with even a lot of Taurus things in their charts I love to talk with. And maybe it's, I don't know what it is, but I think it's because they can stay on one subject for a length of time until its completion, and maybe other earth signs enjoy that. And compared to Gemini, I like talking to Geminis, but I think Tauruses get a better grasp of what they want to talk about. But for the most part, slightly on the negative side, Tauruses kind of don't give a crap about what they're talking about as long as things are pretty sometimes. I know a lot of vain Tauruses, and that might be actually the worst thing, but like, I like Tauruses because they are well able to have a nice time with you, and they can plan it out, and they're decently reliable. But if meeting up with them, if you meeting up with them means them exerting a lot of physical activity, then most of the time they won't do it. Most of the Tauruses are legitimately like this, and their laziness actually can basically has power over their idea, or their decisions. So if they have a decision that would rather have them sitting down, taking a nap, or like chilling at the computer, basically they like to take things slow, which I so appreciate, because there's those people that are like, why would you take things slow? Why, huh? I don't get it. And then hanging out with Taurus is like, you don't even have to tell them they need to take things slow. They're just like, yeah, you get it, right? Yeah, like, come on, let's go have some cake. And legitimately, I know so many Tauruses that love food, and I love to talk about food with them. They'll talk about food, and it's awesome. I mean, Cancers are a bit like that, but Tauruses are probably more focused on that, and it's all about texture. Tauruses love texture, so they know quality. Yeah, I think Taurus is probably one of the most quality signs even more than Libra, you know? So they will get really good quality things for their home. You know, they won't necessarily waste their money on stuff, but they know how to be cheap when they need to be. So I loved chilling with Tauruses. I dated a few Tauruses. I liked it a lot. Like they are pretty well balanced people. Like, they will go out to the club sometime. They will stay at home sometime. Like, there's no extremes, and I think Scorpio is very extreme. So that's what Taurus is. The worst thing about Taurus is well, everyone has an opinion, right? So you're gonna end up having a conversation with a Taurus about your opinion, but they're not going to budge at all, and literally, and they're gonna be like so proud of the fact that they are stubborn and, well, obstinate. They are like a rock. They do not move. So they're gonna be right, you're gonna be wrong. There's no use getting further into the conversation, and they'll actually try to continue the conversation just to say that they're right. Like, it's just like kind of like you're talking with them and you're like having a conversation and you're like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I get it. And they're like, okay, let's not talk about it, but I'm right? And I think it's a Venus thing that kind of like emphasizes the two-ness of like, I'm me and you're you. And I think Venus does that. It's weird because Venus wants peace, right? But Venus also is resentful, and that's the negative quality about Venus. So next would be Gemini. And Gemini surprised me because I didn't know that many Geminis. I pretty much knew a lot of negative female Geminis, and I kind of held that opinion for a lot of years about what I didn't like about them. Kind of not having morals. And it would make sense because Sagittarius is a sign of morals and ethics, and the opposite is Gemini, and Gemini is more worldly. So Gemini focuses on how can I get my way, and without thinking about like that bigger picture and things like that. So it's not capable of kind of thinking about like WWJD, what would Jesus do? I mean, I'm not saying all Geminis are not religious, but like Sagittarius in the 9th house rules more over what's the best higher moral ground I can live. And I do know a lot of Geminis that are like, oh my god, you're like a Jesus freak. And there's some Geminis that aren't like that. I know of a particular Gemini that has a stellium in the 9th house, who is very, very, very amazing morals. And I think it's because of the rest of the chart. And Venus on their sun in Gemini. But, okay, what I like about Gemini is based on the people I know, and that's how I base the signs. So I think about, okay, Geminis like to do things. Like, they're up for a lot. And they're kind of like, what would you like to do? And then, okay, let's do it together. Like, they're all about companionship. And kind of like, if they're talking, it's like, okay, let's go back and forth. And it's kind of like easy breezy. That's Gemini Sun. So Gemini Suns are more, honestly, not that quick to speak. If a Gemini Sun doesn't have an easy access to their like outside, a lot of Gemini Suns speak slowly. And remember, the Sun, I think, is your ego, and what you feel is your sense of self. So Gemini Suns are more about, I want to hear myself talk. So a lot of Gemini Suns are narcissistic. And I guess it's not something I like about it, but I guess I like that Geminis want to learn, right? I have a Gemini moon, so I'm a quicker talker. I'm really mentally about it. It's more quick, right? It's more in my mind. Gemini Suns are more like, I'm proud of how I speak, even though they're not that good. Gemini Suns will talk and talk. Like, okay, when their egos are up and when they're upset and they want to be heard, they will have a conversation with you, but it's more like, I'm telling my story. And it's the best story ever. It's kind of like a teenager, no matter what their age is. And they'll go on and on and on and on and on. And they'll put in little details that are not important. So the details that are important, they'll just kind of expect you to kind of listen to it. And then someone that's impatient will be like, oh my god. And the Gemini will think that you're insulting them if you cut them off. So don't do that. But other than that, like, I don't like the moodiness of Gemini. But what I do like about Gemini is the fact that it's a double-edged sword, because I don't like the fact that they can't finish a project, but I like the fact that you can introduce something to them and they'll go along with it. There's not many people, the rest of the signs aren't like that. Like, they're not able to kind of just do things. Like, most of the Geminis I know are the kind of people that are like, even though they know it's not healthy, like, if they have a Virgo rising or a Virgo moon, they will still get up at 3 in the morning with you and go to the store. Like, they are out for like a lot of stuff that their friends are out for. And if there's a certain kind of astrology that follows the basic quality, okay, there's a certain kind of astrology that follows how far away the placement of a planet is to its ruler. So, to simplify what I'm trying to get at, Gemini Sun is naturally in its 11th house, because it's 2 signs behind the Sun in Leo. So basically what I'm getting at is Geminis are proud of their friends. So Geminis are very friendship oriented. Now, think about this. I'll explain it in another video. But this is a really good thing, and Geminis have taught me how to be a friend and kind of how to be yourself and not worry about being yourself, you know? And as someone with a Gemini IC, I get this. Like, you know, I lived in a talkative house. It's all about talking back and forth, even though there's different opinions. So Gemini's okay with that. Like, Gemini gets that there's people with different opinions. It's not like Libra that needs to make things fair and, like, make sure everyone is heard. But it's really light and airy, and it's nice. And a Gemini's probably someone I can talk about, oh, that person's really cute. And a Gemini will be like, yeah. They might get annoyed if you obsess over it, but you can kind of just go with it. I find, let me think, yeah, I think Gemini they don't necessarily like food, but they like trying new things, kind of, and they will kind of like just go with it, and it's just like a nice, they'll be willing to try anything once kind of sign, so that's what I like. And then what I don't like about Gemini is they don't really necessarily listen. Like, Gemini Suns, things can go in one ear and out the other. And I guess being a Capricorn, I'm like, listen to me? Okay, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to have to say. You're going to listen. Okay. I'm not sure you got everything I had to say. Did you? Okay. And I think Cancer's even like that. But Gemini's not. Gemini's like, okay, cool, yeah, okay, let's move on. And nothing really bugs them if they don't, like, they care more about what they have to say and you listening to that than what you have to say. I think they're still learning about putting themselves in other people's shoes. You know, it's kind of the young spirit that way. So, and then, yeah, Geminis are narcissistic more than any other sign, I swear. Yes, yeah. Okay, so on to my final sign of this video, because I talk too much and I'm already at like 19 minutes, and yeah, I didn't know how many signs I was gonna make, but okay, Cancer's gonna be my last one for this. And I can honestly say I don't know many Cancers at all. Like, I feel like they're all hiding somewhere or something. Cancers are pretty shifty, and it's that what I don't like. I've never trusted a Cancer, but I can pick up when you don't trust one. Like, some are really good and some are really bad. I think Cancers are too loony, and that's where the loony comes from. Like, Cancers are all like really strongly connected to mental institutions. And the thing is that Cancers are intelligent, but they don't want to be. As a Capricorn, I don't really get this, but Cancers want to just feel good, and they want to kind of be quiet and sit down and maybe have a drink or smoke some weed. I think Cancers are more about smoking. Some smoking cigarettes and smoking marijuana, whatever, you know, just like little tiny habits. Cancer is a sign of habits. But what I do like about Cancers, I get this more with Cancer moon, but Cancers are really caring, and they'll laugh with you and cry with you. And what I actually notice with Cancer, I think more Cancer males, is their sense of humor is harsh. And I think it's because if they have any part of their personality that's rough, they will put that on the outside. And this is the Cancer shell. They will look as tough as they possibly can. And they can be tough. They know how to live their lives protecting themselves. And that is something really, really admirable. But hanging out with a Cancer, you can just like, if you can tell that their sensitive side, as a Capricorn, personally, I like that because it makes me feel like I can protect them. But then Cancers don't want you to know that they're sensitive, so that's the problem between Capricorn and Cancer, is Capricorn's like, I'll protect you, and then Cancer will be like, I don't need to be protected, and then Capricorn will be like, let me rationalize why I think you do, and then Cancer will be like, what the hell are you talking? Why are we talking? Let's not talk, okay? Let's just like sit in quiet, and then Capricorn will be like, no, but like, we can have a really intense intellectual conversation, and there's no, like, there's kind of like, I get you, no, I don't get you. Like, Capricorns and Cancers have an automatic attraction, but it's just not, it's not really there. So, I've been really attracted to Cancers, and one thing I don't like is the fact that I'm so straightforward. Like, if I like a Cancer, I'll be like, I like you. And they'll be like, oh, you said that too quickly. Okay, let's slow this down a bit. And I'm like, okay, and then they'll just be like, I thought I liked you, and then I'll be like, you did? You thought you liked me? Oh my god. And they're like, yeah, but I don't anymore, and I never will again. And I'm like, you could have told me when you liked me that you liked me, you know? And but it's a weird feeling when I get around Cancers, and it's mostly feeling. Like, for Cancer and Leo, I can't explain how I like them. It's a feeling I get when I'm around them. It's this really nurturing feeling. And I do like the Cancers that love food. I love that. It's like a mothering quality that, you know, sometimes I lack. So Cancers love going out to eat. Like, they do. And it's not something that they want to share with everyone, but it's a way of them saying, without saying, that they care about you. So they're like, okay, we're going out to eat tonight. And they'll spend a lot of money on really good food, and if everyone's full and happy, they're happy, and it's just this nice awesomeness. And to me, it's exciting with my Jupiter in Cancer. So it's like, this is exciting. And I like to cook, and I like to bake, and if they're baking something that it's like exotic or something I haven't had in a while, and they make me cookies, it's like a good thing that I have between us. And they're like, you're cooking, I love it, it's awesome. Not all Cancers can cook, and then there's the negative side of Cancer. Like, Cancer negative side is something I'm not comfortable with. Like, I feel like there's really good Cancers that have a good emotional balance in their life, that had a good upbringing, and then there's the Cancers that really brood and have really bad fucking issues, and they don't know how to fix them. And as a Capricorn, it's like, I don't get it. As an example for a few Cancers that actually are like so many Cancers, there's Courtney Love, and she's very, I just don't like her vibe. Drugs and alcohol and shiftiness, and like, you're talking and I feel like you're pulling everything out of your ass, and that's the Cancer part that I do not like at all. And it's like, Cancers, to me, are the most selfish people in existence. Like, I feel like they can be really deep down. Like, Capricorns and Scorpios can be the lowest of low people, but they want to go up. They have like kind of like a spiritual wanting, but when a Cancer does not want to rise from where they are, they won't. And they will stay there, and if someone walks into their home or their life, they will manipulate that person and suck them dry emotionally, and it's not good. And the thing is, cancers know this. Cancers know that there's good cancers and bad cancers. And they know this stuff, but they don't like to talk, so they will just kind of live their life. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. I wanted to kind of explain how I see the signs. And I'm probably going to make like the next 2 videos really quickly and just get it over with. Because I'm still finishing up my 12 signs. And then I'm probably moving on to a really unique thing, and I'm eager about that. But this is something I can talk about quickly, and something that is fun for me and just easy. So next I'll talk from Leo to Sagittarius. So Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. And you'll see what I think. Which I think I know a lot. I'm just gonna like put my ego out there. I have an Aquarius rising, and I know everything. Okay, I do. I really do. All right, so hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to my other videos. Like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.